What are the top 12 AliExpress watches for 2025? Well, today I've got some divers, dress watches, and even some unusual pieces for you to check out. I think that the sub $300 range is where AliExpress watches make the most sense. So all watches today come in under that price point, and most of them actually closer to 100. Hello there, my name is Kieran, welcome to Top Tier Ticker. I hope you're having a good day. I'm not the biggest collector when it comes to AliExpress watches, but you know, I still like to dabble. The only problem is, you typically have to sacrifice design when it comes to this area of watchmaking. But you don't always have to. You still can find some very good looking pieces, some of them with original designs, and still get that epic spec for the cash ratio. If you enjoy this video at any point and want to see more like it, then hit the subscribe button. I can see how many people subscribe to a certain video, so if this video gets a lot of new subscribers, I'll make part 2. Okay, let's start off with something that is genuinely brilliant. The AD2080 is one of AliExpress's most popular watches, with a beautiful dial and a decent spec for the cash ratio. However, I think that Addiesdive has just released their best watch yet. It features 3 huge upgrades over the AD2030 that for me takes it to another level. Firstly, instead of mecha quartz, this one is fitted with an automatic Seiko NH35 movement. Then instead of the domed mineral glass, this one comes with a flat piece of sapphire. But the best upgrade, the AD2080, is water resistant to 200 meters, which when you combine those specs with the incredibly versatile design here, makes this a true go anywhere, do anything watch. And the best part, price point. Under $120 for this one should be a crime. All watches today will be affiliate linked below. I'll try and find the best price for each of them. Now, $50 barely gets you anything these days. It only just about gets you a decent Casio that's made from plastic. But what if I told you you could actually get a serious watch for this price tag? And what's on offer here for the cash just shouldn't be possible. For just $50, this watch offers you a satin finished stainless steel case, a Seiko VH31 mecha quartz movement, a 100 meter water resistance rating, and a domed piece of sapphire glass. Obviously, this one is a bit of a Hamilton khaki wannabe, but let's not pretend Hamilton came up with this design themselves. It was the standard issued watch to American troops during World War II. If you need a field watch and you're on a strict budget, don't think, just go and buy this one. If you want to see more watches around the $50 mark in the next one, then drop this video a like rating. Okay, time for something that you've probably never seen before. I'll first say that I've never actually handled a watch from this brand, and there's not a single review of this watch on YouTube, but it's a good looking watch with a great movement, so I thought I'd at least show it to you guys today. This is from a brand called Hestur. It's for sure an everyday watch with some vintage design cues. It's got quite a sporty case, but then the dial is rather elegant and quite classical. The main reason for including this one today is that you get a Militado 9015 inside of it, which is a rarity at this price point, by the way. I can't speak on quality from this brand, but they've generally received favorable reviews on their other watches. $270 is a great price for the movement used here, and I think the dial design has the potential to be a winner. I consider this next one the Seiko Cocktail Time of China. Firstly, this gorgeous San Martin has a similar dial finish to the legendary Seiko collection, a guilloche finish with some pungent colours. Obviously, the Seiko Cocktail Time comes with a piece of hardlex. Obviously, this San Martin comes with a piece of sapphire. However, you still get a beautiful bubble effect around the bezel, and the flow from crystal to bezel here looks super sharp. The macro shots on this one look extremely impressive, and San Martin are usually excellent when it comes to the details. I really like the design of the buckle here. It features the San Martin logo and it just looks super sharp. $370 is a bit pricey for an AliExpress watch, but spec wise, this San Martin for sure beats the Seiko. It goes without saying that there's endless choice on AliExpress when it comes to dive watches, and if you want a Tudor or a Rolex knockoff, go knock yourself out. But for me, I'd rather go with this hidden gem Cadisen that offers a slice of originality. It's hard to point to exactly who inspired this watch. It's got a bit of a Doxa feel about it, maybe a splash of Seiko, which is no bad thing because this one is very good looking. I first want to commend the dial on this watch. They've gone for a meteorite-like effect, which is a brave move considering the low cost here, but I think they've pulled it off pretty well. You can either go Seiko or Militado automatic inside of this one, with very little price difference between the two, so you know, this one is pick your poison. This one comes in at just under $100, making it one of my top picks for a dive style watch on AliExpress. Now the Frederic Constant Slimline is a watch that I adore. Super thin, gorgeous dial, and the perfect size. The only problem is it's almost $1,000 retail. But check out this awesome Chinese alternative that delivers very similar vibes, but it costs 18 times less. You could literally buy 18 of these watches instead of an FC Slimline and still have change left over. Just like the FC, this one uses a quartz movement. Both feature a stainless steel case, and you get a flat piece of sapphire on both watches. It could be argued that the escapement time one-ups the FC because they use thermally blued hands, whereas the Slimline only uses black painted hands. Granted, you don't get the fancy Swiss-made stamp on the dial, or a fancy brand name for that matter. Similar to the Militado, don't think, just buy this one if you do need a dirt cheap dress watch. A great brand to consider if you've never checked them out before. This brand is one of the best when it comes to experimenting with different shapes and colours on their watches. Another watch that is somewhat vintage inspired due to the dial design, but the case design and silhouette here is contemporary and offers a juxtaposition with the dial. The actual dial design is super busy and unusual, but that's what makes this one stand out over the Daytona wannabes. 39mm is a great size for a chronograph, and the 20mm lugs means you can have endless fun with this one on different straps. It's powered by the ST1701 mechanical chronograph caliber, so it features a case back that you just can't stop looking at with one of the best looking Chinese movements you'll find. $280 for this one is more than a Sea-Gull 1963, but I think it's a much better looking watch. This next one blew me away with just how good it is for the money. You see, the affordable mechanical dress watch market is for sure the most underserved. Even micro brand options are scarce, and I'd say the really good ones cost over $500. Now the dial here is minimal, it's clean, it's classy, a throwback to the 60s when this design was the standard for a wristwatch. A simple silver finish, a beautiful double crosshair dial. The side profile reveals a nice bit of detail to the stainless steel case, with the detached lugs and a thin bar running along the side. The crystal has a slight bubble effect and is domed on the top, and yes, this is a piece of sapphire. It's not going to win any competitions when it comes to detail or mechanical capabilities, but it's for sure got a chance in a beauty contest. $180 isn't the best value for money on today's video, but in the dress watch market, it makes it a top contender. Now, we all know that AliExpress watches offer fantastic value for money, but one thing they often struggle with is offering a slice of history or legitimacy. But that's not the case with this brand. The Polaris is nothing but a winner from Sea-Gull. It combines everything great about Chinese watches and offers a design that will keep you coming back for more. Firstly, the dial finish here is spectacular. It offers a 3D effect that mimics the look of various formations in nature. I also adore the little compass used on the second hand, a small link to the model name. Sea-Gull kept everything else here clean and minimal, with just a clean Sea-Gull branding and basic applied indexes. Sapphire, automatic, and a solid steel construction is brilliant compared to what other big brands offer for the same price. Under $200 for this watch is a bargain for the brand name and design. Now this next watch actually came under a little bit of fire from Studio Underdog, with them claiming that San Martin copied them. But I think Studio Underdog are forgetting that they weren't the first watch brand on the planet to use a bit of colour. For me, this is where San Martin is at their very, very best, offering designs that aren't a one-for-one copy of anything, but still staying rather classical and creating something that looks fun, whilst offering them at a price that other brands simply can't compete with. So top spec with brilliant finishing, and San Martin flexed their design muscles with an experimental use of colours. On the FKM rubber strap, these come in under $250. They aren't as jaw-droppingly cheap as other AliExpress brands, but you do get a big step up in terms of quality. I always find the term vintage inspired a little bit tiresome, because most vintage inspired watches are just copying something from the 1970s in a clear attempt to create their own hero product. But this brilliant Baltany, well, it doesn't do that. It goes right back to the 1920s, to an era of design that isn't exactly in demand or even aesthetically appealing to a lot of collectors. You see, this gorgeous little Baltany is only 36mm in size, which by today's standards is on the smaller side. I think most of you would probably consider this a dress watch. However, it's truly capable with 100 meters, sapphire, and solid steel. This one comes in under $140 and would be top of my list if I wanted a dress watch that could take a beating. Now, we've already had one brilliant field watch today with the Militado, and for the money, that one simply can't be beat. But if you want something that's got a little bit of its own personality, then I think that this one is the one to go for. Now, don't get me wrong, you aren't breaking the bank with this one either. it still comes in under $70. But when you compare it with the Militado, it's basically the same spec, just with a different design. Where the ML05 was playing on the Hamilton khaki vibe, this one doesn't. It's more Dirty Dozen or classic pilot's watch. But one big upgrade this one has for me is the use of heat-treated blue hands. Sure, not a spec that actually makes a big difference, but it adds a layer of connection to the past that the Militado just doesn't. As mentioned, spec is basically the same, so Mecha Quartz, Sapphire, 100 meters. I'd personally rather spend a bit extra and go for this one over the Militado, but I'll leave that down to you. Again, all watches that I've talked about today will be affiliate linked in the description below. There's plenty of color options and even some different case options with all the watches that I've talked about, so go and have a look. And why not check out my last AliExpress video where I talk about the best brands on AliExpress. Tons of options, loads of watches you've not seen before. Go and watch it. I'll see you over there. Bye for now.